Congratulations, you're dead. Welcome to episode 1 of the podcast. This week I'll be talking to my nephew Andre. I quickly just want to apologise for the heavy breathing you'll hear throughout. I'm not sure what was happening that day. It was a hot day when we recorded it, but I'm not sure what happened. It's a new microphone as well, so probably it's just trying to figure out where to put the microphone, to be honest. But anyway, regardless, I hope you enjoy the first episode of Congratulations, You're Dead. Hello and welcome. Today, I have with me a man who is a rapper, a fast talker, with a man of many voices. He's also one of my top 5 favourite nephews. I'll let you figure out which one. This is Andre. Welcome, Andre.
Hey, it's Andre, and welcome to this new podcast of my uncle's, who is my favourite uncle.
Your only uncle.
Well, biologically speaking, yes, but there are others through marriage. So.
I guess, yeah, fair point. How you doing?
I am doing quite well. We're here on this lovely sunny day
nice.
At the tail end of 2021.
Couldn't end soon enough.
Yeah, well...
At least we're not in lockdown anymore.
That's true, and we're both double vaxxed, so heck yeah.
Go us.
Get your vaccines if you haven't. So don't succumb to the lies of Dr. Andrew Wakefield. Actually, former Dr. Andrew Wakefield, so there you go.
Is he a former doctor or is he not Andrew Wakefield anymore?
He's a former doctor.
But still Andrew Wakefield.
Yeah, still Andrew Wakefield. He's essentially the guy who started the anti-vax movement in the 90s, so this will probably be edited out, but who cares?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
How's your lockdown been now? So, just to have a bit of context, I actually meant to start this before lockdown because it was my way to kind of check on people, to make sure everyone was okay. And now lockdown's over, so I seem like a really lazy person. But that's okay. But how was it for you?
Yeah, I don't know. It was interesting because the way I was living before lockdown wasn't very different to the way I was living during lockdown. So, I was just staying inside, ordering food in, playing video games.
Fair enough.
But it's weird because, see, it's like before lockdown, that was my choice. And then during lockdown, it's like, that's what I had to do, which I was very fine with doing because, I'm like trying to flatten the curve and all that. But it was weird, like mentally, because it's like you can't go out. Like, unless you have an essential reason, you can't go out. You have to stay here. And I don't know, like, I'd say, like, in the middle towards the end of it, it was just like there was something mentally in my mind. Draining. Yeah, I was like, oh man.
Because I'm the same. I'm very introverted, so I stay inside a lot. And remember when it first happened, like early last year, we were kind of told to stay inside. It didn't last that long.
Yeah.
But I was like, I can do this. This is, this is what I live for, to stay inside. But this time around, like, again, about halfway through, I was like, oh, I can't stay inside anymore. It's driving me insane.
Yeah.
But we're out of it now, so now we can start doing stuff again and start doing D&D again, which is what I really want to do. Because I tried doing it online and it was just difficult.
Yeah, it's just not the same online.
No, not at all. But yeah, unfortunately I have a bit of news for you.
Yeah.
Or congratulations, if you will. You actually didn't make it past lockdown. Now that you're able to leave, you've actually died.
Oh. Yeah, no, that tracks. I feel that way. No.
Unfortunately, you didn't actually make it out of the house. You kicked the bucket just as it was announced. Like, they announced, congratulations, on December 1st, everything opens up. And you were so excited, and then you died. But do tell me how you died.
I would say the most realistic way is a coronary due to KFC.
Great answer. I like that. Yeah, so KFC took you out?
Yeah.
I mean, KFC's going to take us all out at some point.
At least I died doing what I loved.
Eating KFC.
Yeah. Those pizza doubles, they were just...
I had one of those.
Yeah, what'd you think?
I don't know. A part of me likes it and a part of me hates it.
For me, it was at least better than the Double Dog, which they did a few years ago.
What's the Double Dog? I don't remember that.
The Double Dog was essentially just 2 pieces of chicken, bacon, cheese, and sauce. And then,
Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, I do remember that.
Because it came out once when I was, I believe, 14. I loved it then. Then it came out again when I was, 16. Didn't like it as much then. And I tried the pizza double, and it was okay. Like, it's not great, but it wasn't super bad, so...
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, so I presumed downing pizza doubles, and then I just died of a heart attack.
See you later.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So we've talked about this at nauseum, pretty much. But you're not a religious person, so
No.
there's not like a heaven or hell for you.
No.
Do you believe in an afterlife though,
Um.
or do you believe anything happens after?
Well, depending on what you choose to do with your mortal body, whether it be cremation or burial, I guess I'll just go with burial because that I believe is more common usually. But I'm not sure. But so if you were to be buried, and maybe you don't go through the embalming process because that's a very odd process, but I guess to me what would happen would be like, essentially your body will eventually become worm food, helping propagate worms, and then the worms will do their thing to help keep the soil going, and then birds will feed on the worms, and then flowers will grow, stuff like that. Me personally, what I want to do with my body, I want to be buried with a tree seed. And
Lacey
then,
wants that.
yeah, so like my body would then go on to help give the necessary nutrients and energies towards helping a tree grow.
Nice.
At least to me. There are different things you can do. You can actually, if you want to get cremated, you can put your ashes in with like a firework, and or if you got like Jeff Bezos money, you just send your ashes into like the outer atmosphere before it coming back down. So
That's
you
crazy.
can dispose.
Yeah. Is it posthumously?
Yeah, posthumously.
Posthumously into space. The good news is,
Okay.
when you go to the afterlife, you go up there, and they give you 3 categories to choose from:
Ooh.
gaming, TV shows, and something else you may like.
I will probably go with gaming.
Okay. Well, in that case, they ask you a few questions before they let you in. They ask you, whoever's there waiting for you in the afterlife, what's the first game you remember playing?
Oh, wow. Okay. Oh. I don't know.
And again, this could be video games, board games, tabletop games in any scenario.
Okay.
Also, just a blanket spoiler for this whole episode if we start talking about games you haven't finished or whoever's listening.
True that. Okay. It's one of like 3 or 4 games, video games. So back when I used to live in Macquarie Fields, like circa pre-2004, we owned a PlayStation, like the PlayStation 1. There was Crash Bandicoot. There was a Charlie's Angels video game, a Jackie Chan video game, and a V8 Supercars. I think Dad had that one.
That doesn't surprise me.
And it had like this odd controller that would like bend in the middle. It was so weird.
That's so weird.
But yeah, so I would guess probably Crash Bandicoot. That would probably track. It's probably the simplest one to pick up, I would imagine.
Yeah, fair enough. And you played like the remaster and stuff.
Yeah, I own the remaster of the trilogy. So
Fair enough. Yeah, that did take me back a little, but I do enjoy the original.
yeah,
So that's good.
yeah. I feel like I should ask you. Like I feel a bit rude. I should ask, what's the first video game you remember playing?
Well, the first game I played was Croc. I remember significantly. I probably played one before that.
Did you say Croc or
Croc?
Croc,
Croc, like the shoes, like the shoes with the holes. But it's a video game back in PlayStation 1 times.
Okay, wow.
But I'm pretty sure there was one before that. Like, pretty sure like Super Nintendo and stuff. But I remember Alex the Kid actually on Sega Master System.
Wow.
Because that was inbuilt into the console. And I remember...
You owned a Sega Master System?
Yeah.
Wow, dude.
And I remember, like, ever since then, I always turn a game, like a console on. Even, like, with the PS4, I turn a console on and check if there's an inbuilt game. Because the Master System had Alex the Kid inbuilt. But no other console has ever done that.
No, wow, that's cool.
So what's a game you love playing as a kid, but you think is absolutely shit now?
Ooh, actually, I have an answer for that, like off the top of my head. So, later on, like a few years after, I would say like 2004 or 2005, I owned an Xbox, and there was this one game, and it's like it's labeled as like one of the worst games ever made. It was, I forget what it's called. I think it's like Rise: The Legend of Azuric.
Okay.
Essentially, the premise of the game is there's like you, Azuric, it's like one of your fellow apprentices and this old man, and there are these discs of the elements: fire, air, water, life, death, all these other sorts of things. Anyways, there's this like evil spirit that talks to your like fellow apprentice, turns him evil. He shatters the elemental discs. It's your job as Azuric to go around and collect the fragments of the elemental discs. But what's really cool is, so you have like this staff weapon. There were some really cool elements to this game. When you'd collect fragments, you could collect elemental powers. So you could like put fire on your staff. But if you mixed fire and water, you'd get steam. Or if you mix like different elements, you'd get different combinations. So you could put like poison on your staff, or like
That sounds awesome.
it's really like there were ideas that were absolutely fantastic. But oh man, it was not that good. Like there was a lot of backtracking you had to do, and there was no map. There was no waypoints or anything, so you just had to try and figure out where you had to go.
Oh, okay. So it was like, so the concept was good, but the execution was
so
not
bad.
Oh man!
And I just remember you'd go back to like the starting area of the game, and there was like NPC children. Help us, Azuric! You're our only hope, Azuric!
Oh wow!
And just like it was.
Someone's getting sued.
It was pretty good. I as a kid, I always like really enjoyed it, and had fun. But like looking back on it, it's like not that good.
Yeah.
In a similar vein, I'll keep this one brief, but like Fable. Not that Fable's a bad game.
Yeah.
But like, I'm very glad that when I played it, admittedly, I was probably a bit too young to have played it when I did. But
Yeah, you were pretty young when that came out.
yeah, but like when I played Fable, I loved it. It was great, and it still is. It's a very good game. But like, if I had known about Peter Molyneux's promises, like, oh man, that game would have sucked in comparison.
I can see why older people had problems with that game when it came out, because like, a lot of people, especially if they're our age, your age now, back then, like they would listen to like what the promises are and what the developers are saying.
Yeah.
And seeing it not be fulfilled, I would imagine, is pretty...
Yeah, well, like Peter Molyneux, one of the things he said, you can plant an acorn and then over the course of the game watch it grow into a tree. And, like, that's not in the game. Like, that's like a little thing, but he made a lot of promises about his video games.
I remember that. I guess it's a lot like the people that made... what was that game called? It came out a few years ago.
No Man's Sky?
Yeah, that one, No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
They promised and eventually, I think now they've actually fulfilled a lot of it. But when it first came out, oh boy.
Yeah.
It was not received well.
Yeah, no.
But a lot of people are saying they should go back to it, because apparently a lot of the things that were promised are now in there. Which is good for them.
Yeah. No, I've heard very good things about, like...
That's what I'm hoping for Cyberpunk, to be honest.
We'll see.
Yeah,
We'll see.
That game was supposed to be like the be all and end all of video games.
Yeah. See, that's like why I'm glad when I was like a kid with Fable and I had no idea about any.
Yeah, exactly.
I probably would have been disappointed if I was older and had been following it.
Yeah, I think so. And back then too, I don't think it was as easy to get your hands on news about things as it is now. Not everyone's reporting on it, and
Yeah, true. I mean, like the internet was still in its earlier days, and you would have to.
I think MySpace was still a thing back then.
Yeah, probably. You would have to get like video game magazines, or you'd have to. I don't know about here in Australia, but in the US, I think there was on MTV. There was like a video game show.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Fair enough. I think. Yeah, I don't think video games were as talked about here in Australia as they are now. I think in the US, it was probably bigger, but now it's everywhere. While you're in the afterlife, they also want to know what's a game that most people love but you hate.
A game that most people love that I hate,
or at least dislike, or don't agree with people's love for it. They're like, this game rocks, and you're like, you're crazy.
I'm just trying to... I don't want to go the obvious and be like, oh, Fortnite. No, No, like, Fortnite's fun and that. Like, it's not my thing, but...
Yeah, it's not my thing either, but I do get why people like it.
I think for me, I would have to go with probably like quite a few of the Call of Duties, like Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Yeah, probably like Call of Duty Black Ops 4, Call of Duty Warzone. A lot of the Call of Duties. Like there are quite a few really good Call of Duties. At least from the ones I've played, Call of Duty 3, World at War is fantastic. Obviously, Modern Warfare 1 and 2, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2. But like a lot of them just aren't that good.
Yeah.
They're just overhyped, I think.
Well, a lot of them were like rinse and repeat for a while, weren't they?
Oh, yeah. And I think with like Call of Duty Black Ops 4, right? We see Activision, or Blizzard Activision. Blizzard Activision. Rolls off the tongue better. So Blizzard Activision, they're like, oh, well, forget the campaign because, I believe it's like only like 40% of people finish campaigns or something.
Oh, really?
On average.
Oh,
so they're like, forget the campaign, just do the online.
Oh, that's
and
right.
they just do
that.
like loot boxes and loot boxes. Let's see, another like, yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to think.
So is that when you kind of stopped liking it, when it was just they got rid of the campaign and it was just all online?
To be honest, Call of Duty Black Ops 3, I played the campaign on that one, and it was just confusing. It didn't make sense. Like, it really didn't. It had, I think, one of the guys from Law and Order. I think it was SVU, the guy from SVU. And he was in it, but like the story was like, it was difficult to follow. It didn't make sense. And then like by the end of it, it's like, oh, guess what? Everything that you did, you didn't actually do. You're in a coma. It's all in your head, and it's like,
yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
All right then. And like, yeah, it was just not good. I mean, I'm sure there's like, if I really thought about it, there would be a longer list of games I could think of, but like, I don't know. It just feels lazy, and it's just, Activision, Blizzard Activision. It's a cash cow for them, which I understand. It makes a lot of money. They also get some funding from the US military to make those games and stuff.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. Any artistic project, so TV, movie, video game, can apply for a grant from the US military for funding. So, like, let's say you want to make a movie, and you're going to be using a lot of military equipment like tanks, uniforms, aircraft, whatever.
Yeah.
So you could apply for a grant from the US military, but the US military have to go over your script and they have to approve it.
Yeah.
And like, if you essentially they want you to write them in a neutral to positive light.
Yeah. They don't want to look bad or anything.
Yeah, exactly. So, which, I mean, the Call of Duty video games are very good for them because usually most of the time it's like America, and then like the evil Soviet Russia, or whichever villains they want, like the South American Federation in Ghosts or something like that.
Yeah, that's fair.
So yeah, I would probably go with about half of the Call of Duty lineup.
Fair enough. Yeah, cool. I like that. Yeah, I jumped out of Call of Duty a long time ago.
I remember when you had a PS3 and we played Call of Duty Black Ops in the garage of Nana's house in Vincentia. That was great.
Yeah, that
so
garage system was pretty good.
Yeah.
And like when all the kids would come around, they'd spend hours in there to the point when Nana would have to tell them to go outside.
Yeah.
And then they just open the garage door and be like, "There's a sunlight." So, what do you think of alternate universes or or the multiverse? If Marvel haven't copyrighted that word yet.
Let's see. Sorry. I like to prescribe myself to the idea of the Hugh Everett's many worlds interpretation, which I believe it's not necessarily like in the way of like, oh, maybe in one universe we're spider people who are made with uranium or something.
Yeah.
But like kind of that idea of, each different decision a person makes spawns a new universe. I like that. I mean, it's odd because, recently I I heard a very interesting interpretation of determinism versus free will, where the person was like, well, it's like they believe like, oh, I make my decisions, but the decisions I have made are built upon everything else that has happened before. So really, my decision is deterministic of everything that's happened before. So, which is a very interesting way of looking at it. But anyway, yes, I prescribe to multiple universes.
Cool.
Sorry about the long-winded thing, but
that's what we're here for.
Okay.
Long-winded and short-winded.
Okay.
And just winded. So they say, good news. The alternate universes, multiverse, patent pending, is a thing, and we're going to take you to one of them.
Ooh.
And they take you to an alternate universe of yourself. And what would you like to see? What do you, when you go to that alternate universe, what do you think you would see? Or what is something you would like to see from your other self?
Oh, okay. Like if I got to see another version of myself in a different universe?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That is a good question. I guess I'd just like to see a bit more get up and go, really, from myself. I am trying to work on that now, but it would have been nice. Like it would be nice to be like, oh, like an Andre out of high school, and he was just like, yeah, let's go. I got things to do. I got places to be. Because unfortunately, myself after high school, I don't know what I was doing for like 2 years.
You coasted. I'd coasted too.
Yeah. But yeah, so that'd be cool to see. Like I don't really like. I mean, I don't need much else. Like, that Andre got a job, got his license. Just doing what he's doing. Everything else can be the same. I don't really mind. Like, he doesn't need to necessarily be like sort of beefcake or whether he'd be living in Sanctuary Point now or Wollongong. As long as he is doing okay for himself financially, I think that'd be okay. And I hope he would be enjoying what he'd be doing, playing a lot more D&D than I do. Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe he hates D&D.
Oh well. Oh, that would suck.
That would suck. So you run into your alternate universe self. That's a bit more get up and go. And he asks you, I'm really interested in gaming and stuff. And, he believes you are too. And he wants to know, what game do you relate to the most? Or could it be a game moment, game character, get the whole game in general?
Oh, jeez. Relate to the most. Oh, jeez, that is. Oh, that's a good one. That is difficult.
That's what I'm here for. Being difficult.
Thank you. I guess in terms of video games, I would maybe go with Life is Strange, one of those ones. Probably maybe the Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit.
Is that short game they brought out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was before Life is Strange 2.
Yeah, that's right.
Just having that kid, I think his name's Max. Max, so...
The girl's name is Max. Maybe his name's Max too.
Right, no, you're right, thank you. Sorry, Max was from the first game, silly me. So the boy, Chris? Yes, Chris is the one from the Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit. Seeing him, his life isn't in a good place, unfortunately. His mother had passed, I believe, a year or two before the events of the game. His dad's sort of drunk and abusive and stuff. And so he has this superhero personality that he's made, and, he dresses up as a superhero and he, does the chores around the house and, all of these things. I think that's really interesting, seeing how, not that I've gone through, that or anything, but, a child's imagination sort of helping them navigate the world or the more difficult parts of the world, being able to process that in their own way. I think that's quite relatable. Again, not that I went through a lot of trauma or anything as a child. Not a lot, thankfully. But, as a kid, you use your imagination and you navigate the world through that sometimes. So I think that's quite relatable. Overall, though, I'd probably have to go with Dungeons and Dragons, just because, for me personally, every time I create a character, I put a piece of myself in that character, and D&D can be an extremely cathartic process. Sometimes you can, really process things in a safe environment with your friends, as long as, you're all discussing and talking and you're comfortable with that and they're comfortable with that.
Yeah.
It can be really good for that, so.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I've had moments where it's like, oh, didn't think that was going to come out.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's good. So you get that one question in the multiverse, patent pending. And then you go back to, to your afterlife. And they ask you, what's a game that made you cry or, if you prefer, smile the most?
Dang. I would probably have to go with The Last of Us.
Yeah, that's a great answer.
Yeah. I mean, The Last of Us 2 is a
You
very
mean part
close
one,
second.
right? Yeah.
Yes, I mean the first part. I mean, both of those games are just masterpieces of storytelling. I love episodic point and click adventure games like Telltale's The Walking Dead and Life is Strange, but I don't know, The Last of Us, it's just I don't have words. I mean, I'm trying to think of them, but it's really good. Like for instance, the intro of the first game, to put you in this new world, they make you play as Sarah, right? Mm-hmm. Like, she doesn't know what's going on. You don't know what's going on. You empathize with her, and you, in essence, sort of become her, traveling around trying to find your father. And then obviously, changes to Joel, and, you're protecting Sarah. And it's like, you were just Sarah. So it's like, oh, shit, like this was me.
Yeah.
I need to protect this little girl.
Yeah.
And then obviously, as we all, as I'm sure most of us know, that cutscene, just, it's
devastating.
It's devastating.
Yeah.
It was one of the first time, I think it was the first time I'd ever cried at a video game.
I think me too. I was like, what the fuck is
crazy.
going
on? And then obviously, throughout the rest of the game, seeing the relationship between Joel and Ellie build up, and I think when they're in Salt Lake City in Utah and the giraffes, that's such a beautiful scene. It's amazing.
Scene. Yeah. And when the one that gets me is when they have that moment in that house and she runs away from Tommy's compound.
Yeah. And
he's like, come on, we gotta go. And she's like, I'm not her, blah blah. And he's like, you're fucking skating on mighty thin ice there.
Yeah.
That's it. Like when they have it out, it's like, oh boy.
Wow. And I've got to give a major props to Gustavo Stantolo, I think is his name.
The composer?
Yeah, the composer.
Theme is so good.
The theme, it's 12-string guitar. Without that soundtrack, I don't think that game would be as powerful as it is.
Agreed.
The animation and the storytelling and everything would still be there, but that music too, it's great. I hope to see it in the HBO series.
Yeah, I hope they bring him back for the HBO series.
Yeah.
I forgot they were doing that.
Yeah, it's got
Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, Pedro Pascal
and the girl from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, Ramsay Bolton.
That's it. Yeah,
that's
her
Ramsay
name.
Bolton.
No, Ramsay Bolton's the bastard.
No, it's her. I think Bella Ramsey is her name. Sorry, I got confused there.
Yeah,
but I'm so excited, and with The Last of Us 2, that game.
It was somehow so different.
It was, because the first
but still the same in a way.
To sort of quote Neil Druckmann, the first game, paraphrasing, quoting, but the first game is about love. The second game is about hatred.
Wow.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
That game made me feel so many things, and
it's never made me. I've never hated someone so much in a game and then reverted back to not hating them.
Right.
So much in a game.
I remember playing as Abby. So when it switched from Ellie to Abby, oh my no! I paused. I'm like, I don't want to play this. What the?
I was the same.
And then
I was like, I can't wait till I'm done with Abby. Is she done yet?
Yeah.
She done? And then
we see her backstory, and it's like, okay, I understand it now. It wasn't just that her father was lost because of Joel.
Yeah.
It was obviously a lot of her friends and
almost everyone she knew.
Yeah, and her whole the whole point of the Fireflies, their point of trying to find a cure for the existence for humanity was gone. Their whole purpose gone, along with everything else.
Yeah.
So
she lost everything.
It was completely understandable. And it's not bad writing. Okay, it's very good writing. But yeah, it's just, and then like playing through and then seeing her treatment towards Lev, and I forget his. Sorry, wow, my bad. Sorry, no, it is his. Sorry, I was correct. My bad. Sorry. Seeing like Lev and his sister, seeing how she treated them, and just her friendship building with Lev, and even that like one moment where it's like she realizes that the Seraphites are calling Lev Lily, and it's like, what's to go with that? And it's like, do you want? Oh, I forget the words, but it was like. She essentially asked, like, do you want me to ask about it? And Lev was like, no, I don't. And so, she respected that. And that was really cool. And then it was really... I got conflicted when it finally came back around to, like, the confrontation. And I'm like, I'm not pressing square. I'm going to leave it. And then, like, Ellie kills, like, Abby. And it's like, oh! And then like, finally we kind of go toward, like, after that. And, like, we see Ellie and Dina at the farm. And it's all good and great. And then... Frickin' Tommy comes back around.
And Tommy's messed up. I thought Tommy was dead. When he came back around, I was like, oh man, you should be dead. Like, you look nasty.
And then Ellie goes to California and then finds Abby again. And I'm like, can we not? Like, can you just let her go with Lev, please? And oh man, I
when Abby bites her fingers off.
Yeah, dude, and it was, I hated every moment of that because it's like I don't want either of them to
like
keep
you
suffering
understand both
on
of them.
Yeah, like, and then just like Ellie losing it all in the end, and it was just like.
I hope she gets Dina. Is it?
Yeah.
I hope she gets Dina back and the baby.
Like, where are they?
Yeah, hopefully we get that in number 3.
I mean, I really want that to be number 3. Sorry, just a quick aside though, man. Like. I don't understand the hate that game got, dude.
Nah,
it was crazy.
I don't get it.
Like,
I never will.
I understand. We all love Joel, but Joel was not a good person. Joel had made many enemies over the years. And like people were like, "Oh, Abby, that's not what a real woman looks like." Like, have you ever seen Olympic female weightlifters and shot putters?
It's ridiculous.
Women can be yoked. It's crazy. And then they heard there was a
It was kind of intimidating at first, but then I liked it. I was like, damn, like she was badass.
Cool. She was cool. Like Ellie's like, it's like, oh, like when Ellie's boosting someone up, it's like, oh, here, give me your foot, and she's like, like slowly lifting. Not Abby.
Abby's one hand, like, just see you later.
Yeah, Abby's like, yo, pregnant woman, you need to get up there. Like, she got you.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, and then like people heard there was a trans person in the game, and people assumed that was Abby, and then all this stuff. And like, it got to a point.
But even if it was Abby, like, who cares?
Exactly. And then, like, it got to a point where people were sending death threats to Laura Bailey, who
really?
Yeah. And, like, it's like, oh, you and your son better watch out. And, like, threatening her baby. Like, bro, like, you hate the character. I get that.
Yeah, but don't threaten the person.
Yeah, don't threaten the actor, like, the actress. That's ridiculous. Jesus. Anyway, sorry about that aside.
No,
but, like,
I hate death threats. Death threats are so... Since we're, talking about death and stuff, death threats are so dumb. There's no other word to describe them. I don't understand the point of a death threat. Like,
it's just too intimidating.
It's just the keyboard warrior behind his keyboard. But, like, they're not going to do anything, obviously, but still, it's so stupid.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I remember one YouTuber I really like watching girlfriend reviews.
I like that. Yeah.
So they did a video understanding The Last of Us part 2.
Yeah.
And like, I think in like one line, Shelby had mentioned like how she could see a correlation between herself and Ellie because she had lost her father. And then there were people who were like, oh, I'm glad your dad died, you bitch, and like all this stuff. And it was like, what the hell?
Shit.
Like, the people like that, like, they're just, like, really insecure and just, like, really bitter people, man. And...
Agreed.
They're like, oh, keep politics out of my video games. And, like, I hate to break it to you, but politics is in, like, literally everything. Even not taking a side is taking a side.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree.
I hate to break it to you, and I know a lot of people don't like that, but it is what it is, unfortunately.
That's true.
Oh, this went a certain way.
Well, that's the whole point of it. We just talk about whatever.
People are like, yeah, cool concept, until they started talking about The Last of Us too, and I stopped listening.
Yeah, I mean, if people jump off because of The Last of Us 2, I think they got bigger problems.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you ate your KFC and you went to the afterlife. Does the afterlife for you look like?
Oh, that's an interesting question. Well, I would say probably because of my upbringing and the society in which I am in.
It's just KFC. All over the place. No, I'm just kidding.
It's just a big KFC bucket. I guess I picture sort of the like the Judeo-Christian version of heaven, where it's like well, at least what is in pop culture, I suppose. Like bright white clouds everywhere. But I guess for me, it'd be a very diverse place. It'd be very accepting. Of course, it's the afterlife. Hadoy. Everything's supposed to be good. I don't know. I guess like just a building filled with every arcade game and every console system with unlimited storage space on all of those consoles and all the games that each system has. That would be two buildings. Like a place where I could play some D&D with some people. That'd be pretty sick. And like a massive, like another building just filled with each different style of cuisine. You got like Indian cuisine, Thai, like Chinese, Japanese, Korean, American, British, Italian, French, Portuguese.
Yeah.
South American, like Mexican, all sorts of different cuisine.
Nice. I could dig that.
Oh, that'd be so good. I would be so happy.
And it's free.
Yeah, dude. Of course. And I know this is like a joke in the good place, but a Froyo place, dude.
Oh, yeah.
I stand Froyo, dude.
Yeah, man, Froyo's dope.
For those that don't know, Froyo is frozen yogurt. Mate, for me, that's better than ice cream.
Yeah, me too, actually. I like it better than ice cream.
It's so good.
I might buy some Froyo on the way home.
Bro, where is there Froyo around here?
I mean, like, they would have some in Coles, wouldn't they? Or for Woolies.
Oh, yeah.
There used to be one at the fair, but they didn't last, I think, the winter.
Unfortunately, I think the closest Froyo place is in Wollongong.
We can't go there yet.
No. And that makes me sad.
I'm a sad panda.
But yeah, Froyo place. I'm sure that there would be many other things that I just can't think of right now, but those are the things that immediately come to mind.
That's fair.
Oh, big cinema too. Sorry, big cinema with all the movies and TV you could watch.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah, alright.
Down for that. I'm going to your afterlife. So, you ate all your KFC and till you died.
Yeah.
And, I got called, we need you to come help us out. Dre's kicked the bucket. I'd come over straight away with a hearse and a coffin. But you've eaten so much KFC that it has expanded your body. And, and your tummy has been expanded. So I have to, stuff you in this coffin that I had for your normal size. And then... Mm-hmm.
What sort of, what sort of Cronenberg shit is this?
So I stuff you in. And the good thing is, with your afterlife, sure, there's the arcade room, but once a week, they put a big projector up that takes over the whole building. And once a week, a game goes up, or it's either that or a big table that everyone joins in for a tabletop game.
Mm-hmm.
And I can only fit one game inside that coffin with you. What game will you take with you to the afterlife to share with everybody? It doesn't have to be anything from any of the lists you said so far.
Oh, okay. Crap. That's hard. Okay. I think I'd have to go with 5th edition D&D.
Nice.
Don't get me wrong, video games are amazing, they're great, they have been pushing the medium of storytelling, some of them, they're absolutely wonderful. But there's just something so different about Dungeons and Dragons. you get to create the story with your friends. It is a massive collaborative project. You're helping build the world, but so are your players.
Yeah.
Their interactions shape NPCs, can shape the world. And you're able to do so many different things. You can have high fantasy, you can have no magic in your campaign. You could try a more grimdark sort of thing going on. It really, there's a whole wide gamut of things that you can do with Dungeons and Dragons.
It's almost unlimited to your imagination.
Exactly. That you just can't do with video games. I mean, the tagline for D&D is the greatest RPG game, or like the best RPG. Anyway, the point is, D&D, it's just, there's nothing else quite like it comparing it to video games. I know that there are other tabletop RPG systems, and I'm sure that a lot of them are very good. I've picked up a few. I've picked up like a zombie one. I've picked up Cyberpunk Red, and I've also got the PDFs for Mutants and Masterminds 3rd edition. That one's really cool. But I mean, I don't know. Like D&D, it's a classic. It's been around for as long as my dad has.
Well, yeah, essentially.
Yeah. So
although everyone thought it was the devil's game at that point.
Yeah, well, because it came out, it was 74.
74. In the 80s.
In the 80s, it was the Satanic Panic. Yeah.
I read something on it was like a website or something, about the Satanic Panic coming back, because all these Christian people are thinking that it's, again, because now it's on Stranger Things and they do with the Demogorgon and stuff.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks it's all about demons and stuff. And
I mean, I can see that, because I come across the videos sometimes online of people being like, they'll look at the most like innocuous thing, like white and black, like that sort of chessboard design, but on like a kitchen floor, and they'll be like, "Oh my god, that's like the Freemasons," and everything like that. So, because they think it is really interesting, because they think essentially that for the devil to win in getting souls, that he has to actually tell you what he's doing, but in like secret messages.
Right.
And like, doesn't make sense at all. But, whatever. So they think that, the devil is putting all of this like little secret nuggets of information out there for you to find. I don't know. It's odd. Like, it's weird, but it is what it is.
That's true. Well, I'm glad you picked D&D. Again, makes you want to go to your afterlife more than whatever mine would be.
I'm sure yours would be pretty kick-ass too.
Alright, well, I hope you enjoy your death and get as much KFC in you as you can.
I don't know how to take that, okay? I've been going on walks, man. Don't tell me that.
No, it's good. But yeah, I hope you enjoy your afterlife, and thank you very much for being the first guest on this podcast.
Well, thank you. I will, I guess, if my afterlife is anything like that, then I would enjoy it very much.
Right.
And thank you for having me.
That's all right. Thank you very much. Thank you for listening. Please join us again next week, where I'll be talking to another family member. And please also give my other podcast that I do with a friend of mine called Grace. The podcast is called Hobby Goblins, where we talk about all things LARP, D&D, kind of geek culture, and a lot more. Again, thank you for listening, and I hope you have a great week. And remember, an owlbear is more dangerous than it looks.